Thor is a god who is capable of keeping on par with the physical strength levels of the Hulk. The Hulk is someone who is said to be on par with the physical strength levels of Thanos. Thor is fast enough to react to Hela's attacks from close proximity. Hela is capable of reacting to Thor's volatile lightning from close proximity, and that already makes him faster than the Hulk. Thor is capable of taking on the full force of his star and the power stone to his bloody skull, as well as a variety of different characters from the Hulk and not even bleeding from them. Thor's martial arts is quite remarkable, with him fighting for many years and showing his martial arts skills in a variety of different ways. Thor's power is on another level, with his lightning being able to stop and destroy many Leviathans, and Chitauri being capable of destroying the Rainbow Bridge, being capable of hurting so many characters like Thanos and like the Hulk and Hela and so on. And of course, he has these different weapons to his aid. But at the start of Avengers Infinity War, it was shown as if Thor lost to Thanos and the Black Order very easily. Why was that the case? Well, that is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. The reason why Thor and his companions were shown to be easily defeated by Thanos and the Black Order. Like, subscribe, comment down below on any thoughts you have about this video. Now, let us begin with the first thing that I thought really caused their defeat, and that was the lack of warriors. See, the lack of warriors is a common thing the Asgardians have now been suffering with. At the end of Thor Ragnarok, they lost a lot of different warriors. I don't even think they had actual warriors, given that Hela destroyed the entirety of the Asgardian army. Of course, when Thanos and the Black Order faced off against the Asgardians on their carrier ship, he was fighting civilians who were not in any way skilled or prepared for battle. So that was one of the main factors that I believe made them lose so easily. The next factor that I believe they made them lose is, of course, unpreparedness. They were not prepared for battle. You see, I believe Thor on his own can take on the Black Order and most likely be victorious in that battle. I understand that Ebony Moore has telekinetic abilities, but nonetheless he cannot control lightning. So it's quite likely that Thor's lightning would drastically hurt him, along with the other members of the Black Order. So I believe Thor, at his most powerful, as we saw him in the end of Thor Ragnarok, would most likely be capable of defeating the Black Order by himself. And with the assistance of the Hulk, Valkyrie, Heimdall, and so on, he's definitely capable of taking on the Black Order and most likely even holding his own and possibly even defeating the Mad Titan Thanos, if you want to make it extreme. But yet we didn't actually see that happen. Well, that was because they were not prepared for battle, and the attacks Thanos' ship was striking the Asgardian carrier ship with was most likely hurting them before the battle actually even began, before Thanos and the Black Order actually got even on that ship. So they were not prepared for battle. All of them were divided. They were not capable of facing off against Thanos at the same moment, and most likely being able to hold their own or possibly defeat the Mad Titan Thanos. That was also another factor. Now, this is going to be the biggest factor in my opinion, holding back. Thor was not able to use his full outright power when he faced off against Thanos and the Black Order. That was not because he didn't want to, and was not because he couldn't control it. That was because if Thor released his full outright power on their ship, similar to how he did when facing off against Hela, he would have most likely damaged the ship more than the Black Order and Thanos damaged it. So that alone would put him and his companions and the Asgardians at a massive disadvantage and massive danger levels because of him just releasing his full outright power. Another thing that disadvantaged Thor in that battle was, of course, him not being in a way capable of releasing the same amount of power we saw him release at the end of Thor Ragnarok. We saw him create the most powerful lightning blast in all of history. A lightning blast that was capable of momentarily incapacitating even Hela, the goddess of death, and destroying a large portion of the Asgardian palace. Why didn't he do that when facing off against Thanos and the Black Order? Well, once again, that would most likely destroy the ship, of course, but the real reason he didn't was because he couldn't. Thor's most powerful lightning blasts generally occur when he is on a planet where he's capable of gathering the clouds above himself and using them at their peak, at the most powerful, against his enemies. He could not do that in this situation because he was in space where, well, they can't be really any clouds. And I know that sounds very idiotic, very dumb, but nonetheless I believe it is a massive factor to consider. Thor is not capable of using that power that we saw him use at the end of Thor Ragnarok because of him not being on an actual planet. And if he was capable of using that power, then this entire battle would have turned out completely differently. See, if Thor was capable of fighting off against Black Order and Thanos, he would have destroyed the Black Order by himself with what we saw him to be able to do at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and then he would only most likely lose to the Mad Titan Thanos. But then with the aid of Hulk and his other companions like Valkyrie, Heimdall, and Loki, it's even a possibility that he could best the Mad Titan Thanos if the Mad Titan Thanos only had, of course, the Power Stone, like how we saw him have at the start of Avengers Infinity War. That is what I personally believe the battle could have been like. But of course, lack of warriors, Unpreparedness, him unable to use his full outright power and holding back to protect his people, drastically disadvantaged Thor and the other Asgardians, and that's what caused him to lose in that battle. Anyway, I'm sure a few people have a lot of comments and thoughts about this video. If y'all do, I'd love to see some of them. I'd love to see some likes and some subscribers as well. But anyway, this is MC Info, and I'm out.